Hey everybody, we are back doing another home vlog. I think we had talked about maybe doing something out, but it's actually gotten cold.
It's cold.
So,
again.
Yeah, so we are staying in. We figured we would just talk some more. And actually, we decided we wanted to talk about Disney cast members and our best Disney cast member experiences.
Because I really think that's one of the things that Disney does that makes the difference. There are other theme parks, and the two things that I've always felt that Disney edged out everyone else on were their theming, but definitely their people. Their people make the difference. The pixie dust moments, the magic moments, the smiles, just the general attitude of the cast members. The people Disney employs make all the difference.
Yeah, and we started thinking about it actually because of some kind of sad things. Both Disney World and Disneyland lost some cast members in this last year. Some who were pretty iconic.
Yeah.
I think it's Christopher George Weaver was Mayor George for years at Walt Disney World, Mayor of Main Street. And you know, it's crazy because in all the times that we went there, somehow we missed him.
We missed him.
Which we were really sad about. But we posted about it because since I write for a Disney magazine, sometimes I'll post things about Disney news just on different social media things. And people from all over just started showing up, sharing their pictures and how amazing he was and how they made a point of seeing him every time they went.
And how funny he was. The fake campaigns and the requests for money and funny stuff. So,
and then right near the end of last year, Stacey Fulford, who was Mimi Kaboom at the Streetmosphere in Hollywood Studios, passed away.
And she was also Helga, the storyteller at the Germany Pavilion during the Epcot Holiday Festival.
And now we had seen her.
Yes.
Only once we went. We go to Hollywood Studios each time, but we'd only seen her with the Streetmosphere, I think, once. And it was a great show, but we were reading about her and seeing pictures of how funny she was and holding auditions for husbands.
Auditions for a husband was funny.
Yeah, that was really funny. And then we saw a great video that I think Walt Disney World News Today shared that was the cast members did a tribute to her. Where they all sat down, all the other Streetmosphere performers sat down in a circle
and ate pie. And talked about Mimi Kaboom.
Yeah, shared their favorite memories of her. And most of them were made up things, but they were hilarious and it was sweet. And then right towards the end of last year as well, Rob McHargue passed away. Now he had been with Disneyland at the Candy Palace, and I think for like 4 decades.
A long time.
He made the candy canes at Disneyland. And again,
people would wait in line.
Yeah, and that was another one where I think I posted a link to an article about it, and people started coming out and commenting all over the place about how long that they had seen him, that they would go. Yeah, the articles we read,
people would wait 45 minutes just to watch him make their candy cane.
So we started thinking about it and started thinking about some of the amazing cast member experiences that we've had, and figured, you know, we would just kind of chat about some of that because like Kara said, I really think that that's what puts them above. I mean, that the theming at the parks, I think, is one of the huge things. How immersive they make it, how the story is told, no matter, you know, every aspect of the parks is telling a story. And there's not much that I can think of where that illusion is broken, but I really think that along with that, it is the people that makes it so special. One other one who has not passed away, actually, who we really want to meet.
Yes, so much. Because
we have not met him yet, but Richard Gurf is his name, and he's worked at Walt Disney World since 1992, and he's become something like a legend. He's the greeter at the Grand Floridian, and we've just seen so many things watching, like, I think when we were watching one of the Tim Tracker videos, he made a point of going up and meeting him. And then we've seen tons of people posting pictures, and he really just seems like the sweetest guy. So the next time we go...
he's the official bride's assistant.
Yeah, I think...
for Grand Floridian weddings, too. And it just seems to really go out of his way to make those experiences special. And just to make walking into the hotel special. Like, he greets everyone.
And his story was pretty cool, too, because I believe he was displaced by the hurricane.
Yeah, his
home was
his
destroyed.
retirement village lost power during the hurricane. And it wasn't safe for the retirees to stay there. So Disney put him up in the Grand Floridian. Said he was such an important part of the Grand Floridian. Please come and stay here. And he stayed there until he could go home.
Yeah. And I wish when we get a little more tech savvy, we're still working on that. I'd love to be able to insert some pictures of these people so you'd be able to see who we're talking about.
Yeah.
But if you look up Richard Grand Floridian, you'll be able to see pictures because there's just tons of posts. Everyone who goes stops to meet him. So the next time we're going back this fall, the next time we go, I think we'll take a few minutes just to cruise by. We're going to be there for Christmas, so I think we've got to go by the Floridian anyway to see the gingerbread house, but to meet Richard. So with that, I think maybe just talk about a few of our favorite memories. I think one person, and we've seen him mentioned a lot by other people who go a lot, that we absolutely love is when you go to the Magic Kingdom, you have to make a point of, even if you don't go in to see the show, stopping by the Hall of Presidents to talk to James. Stopping by the Hall of Presidents
lobby and see James.
James is incredible.
He knows so much.
The first time we went, he had a huge circle of people around him while we were waiting for the show to start. And he just was talking extemporaneously about American history and presidential candidates and just tiny bits of trivia about all of them, things that, like, nobody knows.
Yeah.
He started getting into, like, the origin of the Baby Ruth candy bar name, which had something to do with one of the presidents. I really don't remember who.
One of the president's daughters.
Yeah. But he's incredibly approachable, and he'll talk to anyone and talk to them for a long time about American history.
He knows so much.
And he's amazing. So I would definitely recommend when you go to the Magic Kingdom, go see him. Usually, if you go by early in the morning, actually during our last trip, the Hall of Presidents wasn't even open. They were still updating
it was still closed for the revamp.
And he was still there, so he was just standing in front of the Hall of Presidents, like
Liberty Square, talking to people.
And it was great. We got a picture with him, and he, again, just very approachable, and just amazed at how much he knows.
Yeah.
So the best experience we had last time was Gabby.
Gabby is one of the managers over in Frontierland.
Yes. And it actually started with, we were there for Extra Magic Hours one night, and the kids were getting kind of sleepy. It was just about time to be done. Like, Extra Magic Hours were almost over. We're like, okay, let's go get one more thing. We're addicted to the Country Bears. So we went in to the Country Bear Jamboree, and there was, like, maybe 5 other people there.
Oh, yeah. There's just a handful of hardcore Country Bear fans.
Yeah.
Like, what a crazy thing to have happen. It was so fun.
So before the show started,
fun.
Everyone came in, and then Gabby came in, and she was kind of doing the spiel, welcoming everyone to it. But then she started telling, like, really terrible bear
puns too.
Bear puns and jokes, and was just hilarious talking to the people. You could tell she was exhausted because it was late.
Oh, we had all hit that point. Like, we were one giant giggly group of people who had just gone well beyond pumpkin time.
But yeah, but she was gonna have a good time and have everyone have a good time with her. Like,
and we really did. And like,
it turned
everybody sang along. She stayed in there too.
Yeah, she stayed in there and was singing along with the songs, and the crowd was singing along, and so it turned into this really cool kind of communal thing.
It was fun.
So we went back the next night for the Halloween party, and we ran into her and we were thanking her, saying how awesome she was, and we wanted to get a picture with her because we had had such a great experience. And then she started giving us tips, telling us, oh, go to the second parade on the Halloween party because it's not as crowded.
And she told us where to sit.
If you sit over by Pecos Bills, by the shrubbery there, that's the best seat to watch the parade because the characters, that's where the parade is just starting, and they interact with the audience the most there.
Oh, there's a lot more space between the floats there, and so because they've got time as they're getting the parade into rhythm, there was a lot of character interaction.
So,
Cruella de Vil scared
some
our son out of his skin.
Yeah, she jumped at him. So, I'm coming back now, but while we were there, we were telling her how much we loved her presentation in the Country Bears and how much we loved the show. And Kara started talking about how it was her dad's favorite show.
My father has a Country Bears obsession, like big time. It's really funny. Like every time we've gone without them, we talk to my father after we've been in the Magic Kingdom, call on the phone just to check in. And, did you go to Country Bears? You gotta go to Country Bears. Did you guys see Country Bears? And I remember growing up, my dad had these mugs, these glass mugs with Big Al on them. And that's what he drank out of, like, all the time. He always had that mug and always had ice and soda in it. And I mentioned to Gabby that when Sean and I started dating, he saw one of my dad's mugs. And we found out that they had discontinued making them back in the 90s. And we actually hunted this one down on eBay. This is the actual mug that I grew up with my dad drinking out of all the time.
And actually, I think this was a gift from my parents.
Yes. But. So she pulled me back away from him and gave us the most awesome pixie dust moment. She said what I had to do was go out and get Sean to say trick or treat since we were there for the Halloween party. Mm-hmm. And this is what she gave him.
She came back with one of these full of lemonade. Let's see if you get a good look at it.
With the 5 bear rugs on it.
Yeah, and it just gave it to us for free. And so...
And it had a Mickey straw because she said everything is better with a Mickey straw. And she was right.
And that was just amazing. And the cool thing is while we were thinking about this, we put up on a couple of our social media pages, like on Reddit and Facebook and stuff like that, how much we'd been thinking about the characters, how much we love, or the cast members, how much we loved them, and just asking people for their favorite cast member stories. And tons of people started coming out with, like, the same thing, where they were just, you know, someone was there for their anniversary and they weren't going to make the ride in time, and so a cast member took them behind the scenes and gave them a fast pass, or a little girl who just asked a question about how one of the buildings was made, something like that. Just a real simple, innocent question, and the cast member decided to do a little extra pixie dust and fast pass them on one ride, and then walked them to the next one and fast passed them to that, and did it like 5 more times. So it was really cool just to see, you know, the cast members. I feel like they're there all the time too.
Yeah.
Like, because the park doesn't close for holidays, so you have them there on Christmas, and they just go so far above and beyond that it's like, it was cool to see that so many people had these experiences.
And I will say, that's something really important to keep in mind. Because I think when you're there and the parks are crowded, or, you know, like we had to leave because of the hurricane, and people got stranded because of the hurricane, or rides go down, or anything like that, there's a tendency to get cranky and upset, and there's this awful tendency for people to take it out on the cast members. And the thing you've got to remember is they're there because of you. They're there for the guests, and they can't control things like the weather or the crowd size, but to always keep in mind, like, you know, the cast members who were there, who stayed during the hurricane and handed out pizza and played games in lobbies with people, they were there. That means they weren't with their families at home. The ones who are there on Christmas and New Year's, when the park is so crowded that you can barely walk, and everybody is kind of grouchy because it's so overloaded and the lines are long. And remember that these cast members are there working on their holidays so that you can have a special holiday. And, you know, they're not always going to pixie dust everybody. It's not going to happen all the time. But they are there serving people all day long, all the time. And I've just seen people be nasty jerks to cast members.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. I don't get it. Because even if they don't give you the above and beyond service, these people are there making your vacation possible.
Yeah, I mean, they help create the magic and make the magic and make the parks what they are. You know, with all due respect to places like Six Flags, which we go and we love, it's not the same, and it's not the same, I think, because of the people.
Yeah.
And basically, they're performers, which is why they're called cast members, not just workers.
Yeah.
Who have to perform all day, their entire shift.
The time.
So,
and like as a former theater person, I remember being on like full performing for a couple hours at a time. These are people who are doing it day in, day out. And I mean, some of them doing it in really demanding ways. The ones playing full face characters. Day in, day out. Like, it's exhausting. And some of the characters especially are ones that have just gone above and beyond for us too. If you ever get the chance to meet the fairy godmother.
She is amazing.
She's so great. One of the fairy godmothers, or friends of the fairy godmother who works there, we had the chance to meet her with our kids, and she made a point, not just with us, with everybody in line. She asked the kids what their dreams are, and what their wishes are, and what they want to do.
And really, like, got down on the ground to be eye level with the kids. Yeah, eye level
with our daughter, who is really tiny.
Yeah.
And she's one we've heard story after story after story about the fairy godmother and what she's done for people. Another one that we hear a lot about, and one of my favorite ones recently, is there's one guy, and I wish I knew his name, who works at the Hollywood Tower Hotel as one of the bellhops, who people will flock to meet. And there was a pretty cool story recently. A little boy left his stuffed bear in the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And the little kid was just devastated. And Dad sent a message to the park saying, you know, here's where we last saw him. Here's what he looks like. And not only did they get the bear back, but the bellhop in character took the bear around the hotel, staged a bunch of different scenes with him. He had tea. He signed the guest book. He took a ride on the elevator. He did a bunch of other things, and they sent the bear back with all of these photographs of the bear's overnight stay at the Hollywood Tower Hotel.
Oh, like, so
it's stuff like that.
I did want to mention one other one. One of our favorites is if you go to Animal Kingdom. When you get to Harambe Village,
oh, yes.
You have to watch the Tam Tam Drummers, and Leon is just, he's out front of the Tam Tam Drummers, he's dancing and interacts with the audience. Be prepared to be embarrassed, because he pulls people up out of the crowd to have them dance. But he's incredible. I remember during our trip, he made a point of asking if anyone was there for a birthday or an anniversary. It was my parents' anniversary, and they were with us. So he pulled them out and had like the crowd give like a special blessing to them.
It was really neat.
But yeah, his name's Leon, and he's in the Tam Tam Drummers. He's hilarious. We have pictures of him with his facial expressions are great. And it's just impossible not to smile when you are around him, watching him perform and the way he interacts with people.
Yeah, I mean, he's one heck of a performer in all respects. And then when you actually get to meet him, though, like, he's super friendly. He'll stop and he'll take pictures with everybody, and he wants you smiling and having a good time and enjoying Harambe.
So I think it would be cool if you watch this, if down in the comments, just leave one of your favorite cast member stories. We'd love to read them. Like I said, reading them on our other social media platforms has been really cool.
Really
I love hearing those stories. So yeah, leave a comment down in the comment section. Tell us your favorite cast member story. Real quick, because we are kind of wrapping up, we did want to do a book like we do at the home vlogs. Today's book is The Art and Flair of Mary Blair, who is one of my favorite Disney artists of all time. Worked on It's a Small World, worked on Saludos Amigos, and The Three Caballeros. Her artwork and designs were used in the El Rio del Tiempo, which is now the Gran Fiesta.
Fiesta, but she's responsible for some of the art design in the Fiesta scene. And then the mural at the Contemporary, she worked on the design for that as well.
The book is by John Canemaker. And again, it's The Art and Flair of Mary Blair. And then we also, because we always show like a little who's it or what's it as well, got this last time we were at the parks. It's a little porcelain orange bird. And we've been thinking about him because Kara just completed a set of orange bird ears. We do want to tease that. Castle Creations.
Castle Creations Company by the Marceline Depot, coming to Etsy soon, working on designs now.
We'll have
and if there are any custom designs you want, let me know too. Any characters you want to see, give me a heads up. So I think with that, we will let you all go for this week. And thank you for visiting the Marceline Depot. It's still running. Hey everybody, this is still going while I figure out how to turn this off. Thank you again for visiting the Marceline Depot. Bye.